one way that they could achieve their goals and get all of the positional needs that they're looking to fill is by maybe going out and getting a guy that could fill more than one positional need for them. A guy that they have been linked to that could be that is Mitch Garver, because we do know that the Arizona Diamondbacks are looking for a backup catcher as well as a DH, and Garver could fit that role at 32 years old.
Yeah, Garver, man, you look at his stats real quick. They're pretty nice.
Good.
They're pretty nice.
Pretty
a
good.
270 average with the Texas Rangers this last year. 370 on base percentage, a 500 slugging percentage,
Absurd.
19 homers, 50 RBI. That's in 87 games. I mean,
87.
you look at this, like if you
games.
stretch this out over a full season, Mitch Garver's hitting like 35 bombs with over 100 RBI.
Yeah.
He was that good.
He's Christian Walker, essentially, right? I mean,
these numbers are even better than. Christian Walker didn't have a 370 on base percentage.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's a great point.
But he's also been he's been a little inconsistent. You look at his numbers in 2022, they don't look like this. You look at his numbers in 2021, they do look like this.
Yeah, that's very true.
So he's clearly an above average hitter, but he hasn't been super consistent from a performance standpoint year to year. And there's also just tons of injury risk here. As I mentioned, he played only 87 games. He's had, he's had problems everywhere, it seems like, which of course comes with being a catcher and just the grind that is and the toll that it takes on your body. Mitch Garver has clearly felt that. And at this point, he's not really viewed as a catcher, I don't think, although he probably could be an emergency catcher. He could be, a guy who has some value if you needed another catcher. I don't know if the D-backs would be comfortable having just Gabby Moreno and Mitch Garver on the roster. But you'd at least want one more depth piece that you felt good about. But yeah, from a hitting standpoint, if you could get a full season out of this version of Mitch Garver, like if he was ever able to put together a full season from a health standpoint, he'd be one of the most valuable hitters in all of baseball.
And looking at those 2022 stats, one thing was that he had that right forearm flexor muscle strained and eventually had surgery on it in July that ended that season for him. But he was a big part of that trade from Minnesota to the Texas Rangers. He was going to be their primary catcher going forward. And again, like Jesse said, that 2022 season doesn't look great. Now he's getting older. Those contracts, the big contracts aren't being offered. The Rangers did not make a qualifying offer to him. And so now he enters free agency. And I think that honestly, he could be a sneaky good pickup for the Diamondbacks. He really could. This is a total Mike Hazen move to get a guy that, not to say people forgot about, but low-key, kind of quietly, still had a good season, put up some incredible numbers, but just wasn't needed on this Rangers team that was very powerful without him, and not to say they moved on, but Jonah Heim made it very easy for them,
Yeah, Jonah Heim, one of the best young catchers in the game for sure. Obviously, we got to see him in the playoffs. MLB Trade Rumors has 3 years, $39 million for Mitch Garver. Maybe that's on the high end.
A little high,
I don't know if it's all that high. Just given those numbers that we just talked about, like you got a guy who had almost a 900 OPS and has a decent track record, even though, like I said, there's been some inconsistency. If you really just want to kind of swing for the fences and get someone who has more upside offensively than anyone else, Mitch Garver is probably that guy.
Yeah.
I know JD Martinez was great. I know Jorge Soler certainly had a good season as well. I'm not sure I'd project any of those guys to be as good as Mitch Garver in 2024. But the D-backs don't tend to sign guys who don't who have sketchy durability history. It seems like they prefer the safer options, the safer bet. So it doesn't feel to me like a move that they would make. But who knows? Mitch Garver is a really, really good hitter and would fit in pretty well into this lineup.
I think it mostly depends on, what the contract here. I understand for Mitch Garver at 32 years old, you probably want something like a 3-year deal, at this point in your career, just to secure your future there a bit. But
probably what it'll be.